Shukrana Guruji for blessing us with this wonderful seva, and thank you Manish Uncle for enlightening us with the Savan and its importance. Last time we read chapter 21 and 22 of Rudra Samhita section 5. In this we read that deluded by his love for Parvati, Jalandhara came to Kailasha with his vast army of demons, which included Shumb, Nishumbh and Kalnemi. Now all the gods sought refuge in Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva reassured them and promised them that he is going to kill Jalandhara. Now, then started a fierce battle between the demons as well as the Ganas. And as the Ganas were killing the demons, Bhargava was giving them Sanjeevani and resuscitating them. This disappointed the Ganas, and they told Lord Shiva about it. Lord Shiva got very angry, and from his mouth came a terrible Kritya. She was huge, and she captured Bhargava from the battlefield and fled from there. So seeing that, all the demons, all the leaders like Kalanemi, Shumb, Nishumbh came to the battlefield so that they could kill the Ganas. And as the Ganas were being killed, Ganesha, Kartikeya as well as Nandin entered the battlefield to fight with the Ganas. Then started a dual combat. Kalanemi fought with Nandin, Shumb fought with Ganesha, and Nishumbh fought with Kartikeya. There was a fierce battle, and all the Ganas roared as eventually Ganesha, Kartikeya and Nandin and the mighty Veerbhadra defeated these demons, and the demons were getting killed. Seeing this, Jalandhara got furious. He entered the battlefield and he started killing the Ganas, and he also fought a war with Ganesha, Kartikeya, Veerbhadra, and felled each of these warriors. Now when the leaders were falling on the ground, the Ganas were disappointed, they were scared, and they fled, and they told Lord Shiva about it. Lord Shiva reassured them. He assumed a terrible form, sat on his bull, and along with his Ganas came to the battlefield. Now Jalandhara was there, and he discharged volleys of arrows at the entire army of Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva, being the powerful, mighty Lord that he was, he split the net of these arrows and then filled the sky with his own volley of arrows that killed the army of Jalandhara. Jalandhara rebuked his army, and all the demons started to flee the army, seeing the mighty power of Lord Shiva. And despite requesting his army to stay and fight with him, they started fleeing. Now Jalandhara realized that he could not defeat Lord Shiva. So he used his Maya. With his illusion, he created celestial damsels and Gandharvas, which presented beautiful dances, and this enchanted even Lord Shiva. So he stopped fighting and started seeing the dances. And at that time, Jalandhara went to a place where Parvati was. He assumed the form of Lord Shiva and started to look at Parvati. He was filled with lustful feelings for Parvati, but Parvati realized that this was the demon and not Lord Shiva, so she vanished from there to the northern shore of Lake Mansa, where she remembered Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu. Now Lord Vishnu came there, and Parvati told Lord Vishnu that the demon had come to her place and how he had assumed the form of Lord Shiva. So she actually told Lord Vishnu to do the same and outrage the modesty of Jalandhara's wife Vrinda. Following Parvati's direction, Lord Vishnu went to the city of Jalandhara. What happened further, we will read in the following chapters. We will be reading chapter 23, which is the outraging of Vrinda's modesty, and chapter 24, Jalandhara is slain. We do not have Hindi reading today. The reading in English will be done by Sunita Auntie. Enjoy the blessed readings. Jai Guruji, Shukrana Guruji.
Jai Guruji. Immense gratitude to Guruji for granting me this opportunity. Apologies in advance for any errors and omissions. Chapter 23, Outraging the Modesty of Vrinda. Vyasa said, O omniscient Sanat Kumar, please narrate, O eloquent one, what did Vishnu do there? How did she err from her virtue? Sanat Kumara said, after going to the city of Jalandhara, Vishnu thought of violating the chastity of Vrinda. The foremost among those who wield illusion, he assumed the wonderful body and stationed himself in a park of the city. He made Vrinda see a dream. The gentle lady Vrinda, the wife of Jalandhara, thought, though of pure rights, had a very bad dream at night on account of Vishnu's power of illusion. In the dream, as a result of Vishnu's power of illusion, she saw the naked form of her husband anointed with oil and seated on a buffalo. He was proceeding in the southern direction. His head had been completely shaved. He was wearing black flowers to decorate himself. He was being served by a number of asuras. He was completely encompassed by darkness. Later, towards the end of the night, she had various bad dreams, such as the whole city was submerged in the sea all of a sudden along with herself. Then the lady woke up still thinking of the dream she had had. She saw the rising sun with a hole in the middle and fading repeatedly. On realizing that it was a bad portent, the terrified lady began to cry. She did not feel happy at all in the spacious terraces and towers of the palace. With two of her friends, she then went to the park in the city. Even there she did not find herself at ease. Then she, the dejected, gloomy wife of Jalandhara, wandered from forest to forest. She was not conscious of even herself. The wandering lady saw two demons of terrible leonine faces with shining curved fang-like teeth. Terrified much on seeing them, the lady fled from there and saw an ascetic of calm countenance observing silence and accompanied by his disciple. Putting her tender creeper-like hands round his neck, due to fright she gasped out, "O sage, save me! I have sought refuge in you." Seeing the agitated lady, followed by the demons, the sage drove them back with a loud bellowing sound of "hmm." O sage, seeing them routed and terrified by the mere Humkara, the wife of the king of the Daityas, was struck with a great wonder in her heart. Freed from the fear, she bowed down to the great sage with palms joined in reverence and prostrated herself in front of him. Vrinda then spoke. Vrinda said, "O leader of sages, O ocean of mercy, O remover of harassment from others, I have been saved by you from this terrible danger from the wicked demons. You are competent in every respect. You are omniscient. Yet I wish to submit something. Be pleased to hear it. O Lord, Jalandhara, my husband, has gone to fight Shiva. O Holy One of good rights, how does he fare in the war? Please tell me." Sanat Kumara said. On hearing her words, the sage feigned a deceptive silence. Fully aware of the means of achieving his selfish ends, he looked up sympathetically. In the meantime, two lordly monkeys came there and stood bowing in front of him. At a significant gesture from his eyebrows, the monkeys rose into the sky again. "O great sage," within a trice they came back, taking with them his head, body and limbs, and stood in front of the sage. On seeing the head, body and limbs of her husband, Vrinda fell unconscious, extremely pained at the misery of her lord. Vrinda said, "O Lord, formerly you used to humor me with pleasant chats. How is it that you do not speak to me now, to your pious beloved? How is it that you, by whom all gods, including the Gandharvas and Vishnu, had been defeated, you who had conquered the three worlds, have now been killed by a poor sage? O excellent Daitya, you did not know the reality of Shiva, nor did you pay heed to my words. Shiva is Supreme Brahman. Having served you, I found that it was not due to haughtiness, but due to your association with bad men that you did all this." Saying these and other words of lamentation, his beloved wife, strictly adhering to virtue, cried in diverse ways with a pained heart. Then steadying herself a little and heaving deep sighs of grief, she bowed to the excellent sage with palms joined in reverence. "O excellent sage, storehouse of mercy, eager to help others, O gentle sir, take pity on me and resuscitate my lord. O great sage, I know that you are competent to enliven him again. Hence, please resuscitate my beloved husband." Sanat Kumara said. After saying this, the chaste wife of Daitya fell at his feet, heaving sighs of grief. The sage said, "This Daitya cannot be enlivened because he has been killed by Shiva in the battle. Those killed in battle by Shiva never return to life. Still, knowing the eternal dharma that those who seek refuge should be protected, I shall resuscitate him, urged by pity." Sanat Kumara said, After saying this and restoring him to life, O sage, that sage who was Vishnu, the foremost among those who wield illusion, vanished from the scene. Jalandhara, thus revived to life by him, stood up. Delighted in mind, he embraced Rinda and kissed her face. On seeing her husband, Rinda too was delighted. She forgot her sorrow. She considered everything a dream. Delighted in the heart with all the dormant passions kindled up, she sported with him for many days in the middle of that forest. Once at the end of the sexual intercourse, she realized that it was Vishnu. Vrinda rebuked him angrily and spoke thus. Vrinda said, "Fie on this misdeed of Vishnu in outraging the modesty of another man's wife. I have now realized you as the wielder of illusion, appearing in the guise of an ascetic." Sanat Kumara said, "O Vyasa, saying thus in great anger, she showed her brilliant powers as a staunch chaste lady by cursing Vishnu. O base foe of the Daityas, defiler of other people's virtue! O wicked one, take this curse from me, greater in force than all persons. The two persons whom you have made to appear in front of me shall become Rakshasas and abduct your wife. You will be distressed on account of separation from your wife, roaming about with Shesha, lord of snakes, who posed as your disciple here. You will seek the help of monkeys in the forest." After saying this, Vrinda entered fire through, though prevented by Vishnu, who was fascinated by her charms. O sage, then Brahma and other gods gathered in the sky, accompanied by their wives, in order to see the salvation of Vrinda. Then the great brilliance of the wife of Jalandhara immediately went to Shivalok, even as the gods stood watching. The refulgence of Vrinda became merged in Parvati. There was a great shout of victory in the rows of the gods standing in the sky. O sage, thus the great queen Vrinda, the excellent daughter of Kalanemi, attained great salvation thanks to the power of her chastity. Vishnu thought of Vrinda remorsefully. The smoke and dust from her funeral pyre covered his face. He stood there itself without any peace of mind, though urged and consoled by hosts of gods and siddhas. Chapter 24, Jalandhara is slain. O excellent son of Brahma, O intelligent one, you have narrated a wonderful story. What happened thereafter in battle? How was the Asura killed? Please narrate. Sanat Kumara said, "Unable to see Parvati, the king of Daityas returned to the battleground. The groups of deceptive Gandharvas vanished. It was only then that the bull-bannered deity regained awareness of the surroundings. On seeing the illusion vanished, Shiva woke up. Following the way of the world, the annihilator became very furious. Then Shiva was a bit surprised in the mind. He approached Jalandhara angrily in order to fight with him. On seeing Shiva approaching again, the Asura showered him with arrows. Lord Shiva immediately split the cluster of arrows discharged by the powerful Jalandhara by means of his own excellent arrows. This was not surprising for the annihilator of the three worlds. Seeing Shiva exhibiting wonderful feats of valor, Jalandhara created Parvati by means of his illusion in order to delude Shiva. Shiva saw Parvati tied to the chariot and crying. She was being harassed by Nishumbha, Shumbha and other Daityas. On seeing that in her plight, Shiva became dispirited and dejected in the middle like an ordinary man pursuing the way of the world. He, an expert in various kinds of sports, remained silent with face drooping down, utterly dejected, exhausted and forgetful of his own prowess. Then Jalandhara hurriedly hit Shiva in his chest, belly and the head with 3 arrows that went deep down as far as their feathered tail. Then within a trice, Lord Shiva, the principle of perfect wisdom, expert in great sports, assumed a terrific form, dreadfully blazing. On seeing his excessively terrible form, the Daityas fled to the 10 different quarters. They were unable to stay facing him. O great sage, even Shumbha and Nishumbha, who were renowned for their prowess, could not stand in the battleground. The illusion created by Jalandhara had vanished in an instant. In that all-out battle, there was great hue and cry. On seeing Shumbha and Nishumbha fleeing, the infuriated Shiva rebuked them and cursed as follows. Shiva said, "You are wicked and excessively roguish. You have offended me by harassing Parvati. Now both of you have deserted the battleground. A person fleeing the battleground shall not be killed, so I do not kill you. Since you have escaped from a fight with me, you will be killed by Parvati. Even as Shiva was saying, Jalandhara, son of the ocean, became very furious with Shiva, like the blazing fire. One after the other, he showered many sharp arrows on Shiva in the battle. The whole of the earth became enveloped in darkness by his arrows. Shiva split the arrows swiftly. The powerful Daitya hit the bull with an iron club. Due to that blow, the bull turned away from the battlefield. Even when dragged by Shiva, it did not stand there. Then the great Shiva put forth an unbearable splendor visible to all in the battlefield. O great sage, this is true. Then the infuriated Shiva, assuming a terrible form, became as dreadful as the fire of dissolution all of a sudden. On seeing the Daitya standing in front like the lofty peak of Meru, and hearing from others that he could not be killed, he stood ready for it. As desired by Brahma, the Lord Protector of the worlds decided to kill Jalandhara, blessing him in the heart of his heart. Becoming excessively angry, the trident-bearing deity made a mysteriously terrible wheel in the great waters by means of his big toe indulging in a divine sport. Creating a sharp wheel in the waters of the ocean, and remembering that the three worlds had been harassed by Jalandhara, the Lord Shiva, who had slain Daksha, Andhaka, Antaka, and destroyed the three cities and the sacrifice of Daksha and annihilated the three worlds, said laughingly, Shiva said, O Jalandhara, if you are powerful enough to lift the wheel created by me with a leg in the great waters, you will be competent to stand and fight with me, not otherwise. Sanat Kumara said, on hearing his words, the Daitya's eyes gleamed fiercely with anger. He looked at Shiva as if burning him with his eyes and said, Jalandhara said, after uplifting the wheel, I shall be killing you with your ganas. Like Garud killing the serpents, I shall kill all the people in the world along with the gods. I can destroy the mobile and the immobile along with Indra. O Lord Shiva, who is there and in the three worlds that can escape being pierced by my arrows? Even in my childhood, Lord Brahma had been defeated by my vigor. That powerful Brahma is in my abode now along with the sages and leading gods. Within a trice, the entire universe of mobile and immobile has been burnt by me. O Shiva, what can be done by you or by your penance? Even Lord Brahma has been defeated. Indra, Agni, Yama, Kuber, Vayu and Varuna and others were unable to endure my valor like the serpents, unable to bear even the odor of the Lord of birds. O Shiva, I have never been obstructed either in the heaven or on earth. I have gone all over the mountains and crushed all the leading gunners. To remove the itching sensation in my arms, I have hit the lofty mountain Mandara, the glorious mountain Nila, and the lustrous mountain Meru. Just for the sport, the river Ganga was checked by me on the Himalaya mountain. Even my servants were victorious over the gods, my enemies. I seized the submarine fire and closed its mouth when the entire ocean became one single unit instantaneously. Airavat and other elephants have been hurled into the ocean. Lord Indra, along with his chariot, has been thrown by me 100 yojanas away. Even Garud has been bound by me, along with Vishnu, by means of the serpent nose. Urvashi and other women have been imprisoned by me. O Shiva, you do not know me, the conqueror of the three worlds, Jalandhara, the great Daitya and the powerful son of the ocean. Sanat Kumar said, after saying this to Lord Shiva, the son of the ocean did not move, nor did he remember the Danavas killed in the battle. Lord Shiva was slighted and insulted by means of harsh words by the haughty, impudent Daitya after slapping each arm by the other forcibly. On hearing the inauspicious words of the Daitya, Lord Shiva laughed mockingly and became furious. Shiva held in his hand the wheel of Sudarshan, which he had made with his toe, and got ready to kill him. Lord Shiva hurled the discussed Sudarshana, which resembled a crore suns and the fire of dissolution. Blazing the heaven and the earth, the discus hit Jalandhara and severed his head with wide gaping eyes. The body of the son of the ocean fell on the ground from the chariot, making the earth resonant. The head too fell. There was a great hue and cry. His body fell in two halves like the mountain of Kolirim, split by the thunderbolt and hurled in the ocean. The whole universe was filled with his terrible blood. O sage, the entire earth became deformed. His entire blood and flesh at the bidding of Shiva was taken to the hell Maharaurava and became a big pit of blood there. His splendor that came out of his body merged into Shiva, just like the splendor that came out of the body of Vrinda and merged into Parvati. On seeing Jalandhara killed, the gods, the Gandharvas and the serpents became highly delighted and said, "Well done, O Lord." The gods, Siddhas and great sages were delighted. Making showers of flowers, they sang his glory loudly. The celestial damsels, excited by love and joy, danced. In the company of Kinnaras, they sang in harmonious sweet voice. O sage, the quarters became clear when Vrinda's husband was killed. The three winds gentle to the touch and sanctifying blew. The moon became cool. The sun blazed brilliantly. The fires blazed quietly. The sky became clear. O sage, thus the entire universe of the three worlds regained their earlier health and normalcy, much when the son of the ocean was killed by Shiva of infinite forms. That concludes today's reading. Jai Guruji.